or concepts. So for example, differentiation would be a concept. So someone may say, I really need to differentiate. I have some really high-level students in my class, and I have some really low-level students in my class. So they just anchored that space. So when you paraphrase back, you give that back to them. So it's important to you that you are planning for both the students who already have the knowledge and the students who aren't quite there yet. But you just give that back to them. It just is a nonverbal way to solidify, I got it. Or the characters in space would be students and parents. Or the team versus, let's say the third grade team versus the second grade team. So that, once again, you would give that back to them. So you are really making sure that you are supporting both that third grade team and that second grade team. So you, wherever they point to, you give that back to them. So that's the characters and the concepts.
The sequence of events and ideas, this could be when someone is listing something and they may say, you know, it may match. They may say, I have this, this, and this, or I have 3 things. Number 1 is this, number 2 is this, number 3 is that. Sometimes they'll just use fingers as a symbol and not give it a number, so you can give it back to them. So you're really talking about 3 things here, and you name them for them, and then you use those same 3 fingers that they did. I was sharing with Tina earlier that there's also the invisible ladder. So some people, when they talk, will say this, this, and this, or this, this, and this. And I've noticed about myself that I'm very much a vertical ladder person. So when I'm paraphrasing someone and they start using numbers, which Tina does a lot, I'll have to kind of read, you know, it's not about me. So I can't give it back to Tina as this, this, and this, because that's the way that I think. I would reply with, so there's really 3 things here. Number 1 is this, number 2 is this, and number 3 is this. So you have to think about your own style as well. For me, if somebody said horizontal, that wouldn't relate to me at all, because I always go vertical with this. You can go either way, but up or down.
So you just make sure whichever you're watching, whichever way they do it, you are non-verbally doing the same thing.
Pull the Chaucer arm. Stop. 1, 2, 3.
And then the last one is time orientation. This is actually the only one where you would not do the exact same thing. So if someone says, in the past, we used to do this, in the future, I want to make sure that we're doing this. You would then point to where they pointed to. So you would say, so in the past you did this, and then in the future you want to do this. So you are almost doing opposite them, because you want it, you're pointing to that same space. It's the same thing as the others, it's just this time you're pointing to a different space than you normally would. The other 2 are like the exact same. This one is just doing it, it's opposite. Just think, it's not about me, it's about them. I'm pointing, so that was the past to them, and this is the future to them, so I need to point to that. That one, I would say that one doesn't happen as often, because that's like a one-time scenario, past and future. But the other 2 do happen quite a bit, because people are talking about other people or things, or 3 ideas, or 3 ideas, or first steps that they want to take.
When you paraphrase, you're bringing this all together. So somebody may not say, I have 3 ideas. However, when they're talking, they start kind of going like this. And when you give it back to them, they're like, oh, wow, I really did have 3 distinct separate things because you labeled it for me. So you're paraphrasing a bit of their nonverbals in with what they're saying.
So that's a lot of information. Check in with that partner. How are you feeling about paraphrasing?
Like there's certain ones. I always say that I would do. Oh, I scoop. He's like, you're scooping. And I don't think somebody would like scoop when they're paraphrasing, but because that would be kind of weird.
We have an argument on the team about who started things differently because we've all adopted certain things. And like, so, Reagan will like categorize stuff for us. Like,
Yes.
yeah. And I think that Reagan started it. Yeah. Reagan says Anita started it. And I'm like, Anita doesn't used to do it. Anita doesn't know. She's used to do it. So
I think Leslie. Because I think Leslie brought this, and she probably then brought the tutor team. Because I think that's where I get my scooping from.
okay.
Yeah. So watch Leslie. She has my scooping from her.
You do that. I thought about that.
I hadn't either until you said it.
I didn't either.
Oh my gosh, you do this all the time. And you said if someone
I scoop.
and I was like, oh.
My husband says, you're scooping. You scoop all
scoop,
the time.
yeah.
Yeah. What do you?
You fondle.
Who does that?
Tina fondles. Yeah.
But you know what, I noticed Jane does it too.
Well, how do you use this? Like,
Oh, all the time.
Like when she's holding an idea.
So on the one
yeah.
hand.
Oh yeah, on one hand.
But I just go
Yeah.
with one hand. She goes, like, gives it a little. Oh, I'm on video.
Turn it
too.
on light bulb.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
That's adorable.
Like,
They're mine always goes to them.
sorry.
Light bulb? Smartly.
Right. Cut that out of the video. Beamers. The beamers.
We're gonna have to do this.
Exactly.
You knew what you were getting into.
Right? Yeah. Oh, and I stood right. Fantastic.
Do you guys find yourselves like when you're working closely with somebody, like you start doing this thing? We were just talking about that.
Well, it's so funny because she was very jealous. Like those photos. Like articulating that about her or myself. And right now, I'm like, yes, that's really true. So now I'm thinking that we're
To what? Hyper.
Well, you got Tara's nonverbal. You got yourself down. You know I do this.
So you got 1, 2,
And I get excited. I'm like, yes, my high five.
Okay. Can't wait.
What questions or comments do you have about paraphrasing the content and including the nonverbals?
One of the things we were just wondering is if we are matching somebody's rapport, a lot of that has to do with the nonverbals and some of the physical gestures. Do we do some of these naturally? And it's like I can't think back to all the coaching conversations I've had and think, did I do this naturally with whoever I was talking to? So I would just be curious if some of it just kind of comes with being in rapport.
I think a lot of it comes with it, especially like on the one hand, on the other hand, a lot of those, when it's this or this, we tend to mimic that and you're really mirroring what they're doing. Yeah, I think so. I think just being aware of your own style though. So trying not to, like, you could think if you're doing the latter, but if you go this way, you're really doing something different. It just may be your preferred style.
So you are going to have an opportunity to practice some paraphrasing. It's going to do 2 things. First of all, it's going to give you an opportunity to practice. And second, and you won't see how yet, it will set you up for the next piece of content. So you are going to get in trios.
Do we do trios first and then
Let's do trios
Okay.
first.
So to get in trios, let's try if we have a big enough group to do those syllables. Yeah, I think so. So you're gonna try to find people with common syllables as your name. So my first name is Jenny, so Jenny, two syllables. Okay? So see if you can find a trio. Make a space for yourselves. You'll want to bring your learning guide with you if you want. We'll put some things up on the screen as a helpful tool as well.
Before you go though, you don't want to be sitting at a table. So you're going to want to pull the chairs away from the table and make like just a little kind of circle for you. We'll have one group of 4.
That's awesome. You get that feedback.
There's gonna be a group of 4.
Simon, you'll leave because we have one group of 4.
Yeah, we're gonna.
All of that to get a name check on electronic sign. I know all the parents are
Okay, so for this trio practice, and with our one group of 4, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. You're going to be labeling yourself A, B, and C. So quickly assign who's gonna be A, B, and C, and for the group of 4, you'll have 2 Cs.
But just so you all know, most of you are set up perfectly. The C has to be this person, because A and B are gonna be coaching each other, and C will be observing. So like Carolyn, you would automatically be C, Arlene, you would automatically be C. So anyone saying, Michelle, no, kind of, I think you would be C. Jenny would be C.
Did you say about C needs to be facing the screen? They just need to be watch and bearing.
Okay.
So they're not together. Got it.
So it's important to remember that you're not going to be, if you're an A, you're not going to be an A forever, but your C is. Okay? So wherever A is sitting, that is the A seat. Because everybody is going to get a chance to be A, B, and C, and you're going to physically rotate around so that you can see what that looks like. All right, A's. For the first round, you will be the person talking about something with a slight edge to it. And you're going to be talking in 3 short bursts. So what we mean by bursts is that you're saying like a short sentence. It can have a little detail in it, but you're not going into this elaborated story about it. So you're going to give B's that you're talking to some information in 3 short pieces.
And slight edge means it's something that you're kind of grappling with, but not the biggest problem in your life right now. So it might sound like something like this. I am getting ready to do a bunch of professional development. I'm a little bit stressed about it because I'm not sure how I'm going to do my job and do this professional development. So I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to set up my schedule so I can get everything done. So that's 3 short bursts. And the reason why you're doing this is because the whole point of this is to practice paraphrasing, and these rounds are short. So A, if you go on and on and on and on and on, by the time we call time, B will not have been able to paraphrase. Okay, so just short.
So B, your paraphrase this is your chance to practice, and we will put the types of paraphrases up there for you so that you can try different levels as appropriate. But you're also going to try bringing in some of the nonverbals. So matching their posture and matching their gestures. So some of the examples like we gave you before, on this hand, on the other hand, those kinds of things. If they create some kind of list, or if there's 1, 2, 3, you can try some of those simple ones in matching their gestures.
In C's, you are going to observe for alignment. So you're going to see what's happening when B paraphrases A, what impact does that have on A, kind of non-verbally, watching for those boomers. A and B, you're going to keep going until we call time, because we're going to tell C's a specific way to respond and give feedback. So C's, you're not going to say anything. A's and B's, you'll keep going. So B, you'll paraphrase. A, match, really making sure you're matching that posture and those gestures. And then A, when you say yes, give 3 more short bursts. B, paraphrase again. What questions do you have before? Your burst. Okay, here are the 3 levels. So A's, I don't know if you guys set yourselves up this way, but A's, hopefully you're facing the screen so you can see these. I mean B's, thank you. Okay, so go ahead, A's, share your verse.
And then it says Amy, you're gonna keep going until we call time. And they're not doing that today, they're just letting them go, right?
I just said that today.
Oh, you did, okay, so let's, I wonder how much time they're gonna give them.
I've seen you do that. And you move it.
Okay, so it's accepting her sheet. Fine.
I swear you're next.